a good place. We have to begin to enjoy each other to the extent that we don't want to be separated. That's why we come together, so that we could educate ourselves, so that we could have a common understanding, a common goal, a common objective, and then we could work this thing together as a family. In other words, the mere fact that the people, this is what the text is suggesting, that these people were one in every sense of the word. They had the same speech. They understood all of their different, and we don't have to go into the law of interpretation here. They understood each other, the language and the code of that language in their day. Because sometimes a person could say something, but because we are not one, you interpret what they are saying based upon who you are one with. Please talk to me. Please talk to me. Don't get a little vexed here. Talk to me, man. You interpret it based upon the understanding that you have from across there. It's not our common language here. And so we are trying to speak something, what we are accustomed to over there, and we try to bring it here, and here is not interpreted as a here language. So we put motives to what somebody says. And we try, and if we can put the motive and we cannot clone them, then there have to be something else. Can I talk to you a little bit? But these people wanted to be one. But what they had in common was language, expressions, signs, tonations. Turn to somebody and say, God wants that in the church too. How many of you ever play card? I know some of you know that you get saved. Card has become evil, and we don't want to do that because those who are watching by television might accuse us of Egyptology and all kinds of different stuff. And you have to be careful with church people today. But you play cards, you play all fours. All fours. If you play all fours with somebody who you never played with, you might lose every game. You might be making a sweet eye and saying, that might be your code, Jack. When you do that, the person might be of a different persuasion and say, thank you. Yeah. You see, you could be made a sign. You might sit together and say, when I do this, this means I have ace. And next guy will take the same sign, means Jack. Man might do something. That means Jack. Guy might play sneeze it. So the guy is coughing, you might be saying, Bear Jack. You see? You see, in order to play the game, you have to know the sign. You have to know the language. Turn to somebody and say, in order to be successful as believers, we have to learn to have a common language, a way that we could communicate. And let me tell you, the common language really is love. Huh? Turn to somebody and say, that's the language what's supposed to be in the church. I'm not talking about hata. I'm not talking just talking in tongues. I'm talking about the language of the church is supposed to be love. In love, we prefer one another above ourselves. The language of the church is that the weak, the strong bears the infirmity of the weak. That when I'm weak, I know I could be made strong by you. The language of the church is that we have each other being our brothers keeper. Turn to somebody and say, that is supposed to be the language of the church. That when you come here, you're wounded, you're bruised, you are hurt, you're going through pain, but you know you are coming to a body of people that genuinely care about you, that genuinely loves you. People who are not concerned about position and what people say about you, but they know that we have to treat with your wound, that we have to help you, because at the end of the day, that you are part of me, and if you are hurting, then I am hurting together with you. If you are dysfunctional, I could never function at the level that God has created me to function, because you're bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. We are just one.